you are bleeding money if you are not doing this. Now, I am warning you, if you do not implement this into your business, you're going to be wasting thousands. Now, this is exactly why I created this fake Stripe screenshot over here with minus $36,000, because that will be you if you don't do this. Now, are you actually going to go into a negative balance on Stripe? Most probably not, but I'm just trying to exaggerate my point to emphasize on how important it actually is to not to actually look out for this in your business, because you're going to be literally going through so much money and leaving so much money on the table, and how I described it, bleeding money, if you don't actually have this inside of your business. So first things first, the way it usually works in a business is there's the owner, right? You can even call this the CEO, okay? Then there will be perhaps a manager or sales manager or something like that. But let's just say it's a very lean team. So it's just a CEO, a closer, okay? So I'm gonna just put, actually, let me just write the full word for you. You have the closer, you have the appointment setter, okay? So let me type that. So you have the appointment setter, and then you may have like a VA or something like that under you. This is primarily what we're going to speak about here, because ideally the only thing that's stopping this transaction from really, being profitable for both ends, and then in that way, obviously, going over to the CEO, and then going from the appointment set directly to the CEO as well, and ideally the whole business making a lot of money. And like, there's just one thing that's really missing, and in this video I genuinely want to break down exactly what that one thing is. So let me just erase this and just honestly dive straight into it. So first things first, when you have an appointment setter, what does an appointment setter do? Okay, an appointment setter books calls. He will warm people up. He will, you could say, nurture as well. You'll build some relationship with the prospect. Your appointment setter will also qualify. There are things that your appointment setter does that, puts all of these together and ideally gets the CPM up, or cost per meeting, right? So the CPM goes up, especially if you're running ads. A good appointment setter will get that up. It will book more calls. This is what we're exactly for. We're here to book more calls, therefore more calls actually get closed and more money is made. There is one thing that appointment setters don't usually do, and that is doing a mass follow-up. So let me write this in capital letters. A mass follow-up, okay? I'm gonna just put a mass F. Appointment setters don't usually do this, and I don't know many that actually do this. I've worked with multiple, I have trained multiple sales teams, but one thing that the majority of appointment setters aren't taught to do is like one big mass follow-up. They usually just follow SOPs and get the calls booked, but do they actually go through all the really old DMs and get them interested again? That's what I'm going to be speaking about in today's video. So ideally, let's say you have a bunch of leads all the way from, in the time of watching this video, you have some leads from Jan 2024, okay? All the way to whenever I'm filming this video, which is December 2024. So in that time gap, especially, I'm drawing a 4 there. Especially in this time gap, you probably had hundreds, if not thousands, of leads converting every single day coming through here. In the last 12 months, you probably had over 1,000 leads. A lot of these were, let's say they were unqualified. Some of them booked. Some of them were also closed. Some of them were, unqualified. I don't know if I actually just said that there. But there is multiple things that happened through these 1,000 leads right here. But what has happened in the last 12 months is there were people who weren't followed up on, or were forgotten about, or weren't put down on paper or on a tracker, and were just completely forgotten about for months on end. And usually what I make my sales team do, or the guys in the appointment setting team, I will make them do one mass follow-up once every week or once every 2 weeks. And they will go through all of the old DMs, on all of the old DMs on Instagram. Okay, that looks like a O1D. Old DMs. And they will follow up on everybody from the last week or two. And they will just strike up conversation. Obviously, depending on the context, you can say multiple things. You can literally start a conversation by like saying, hey, how's it going? Or you can be like, yo, bro, how's business for you right now? Because maybe the conversation ended on like, hey, man, I'm just currently sorting out some things in my business. I'll get back to you. You can follow up by sending pretty much anything, even asking you as a CEO or an appointment setter or closer watching this, ask your client to film a personalized video for this exact person with the context that you gave to them, and just start up conversation again. If you're able to start up conversation again, ask how things are going, ask how their business is, ask if there's any problems at the moment or where they're at, where they're based. Just try up some conversation, build up some rapport. You're able to, guess what, go through old DMs and then get them booked on a call again. And that looks like 2 nines. But if you're able to book them in on a call, guess what? You have a higher chance of them getting closed and everybody in the company getting paid. So if you are the CEO, I deleted it. But if you are the CEO doing this, make sure your appointment setters do mass follow-ups on all of your old DMs, because if not, you're missing out on so much money. I see a lot of sales teams, like I've managed a lot of businesses or sales teams inside of businesses, and very rarely do I see them actually doing this before I come into their team. Old DMs are super important, and you want to make sure you get everything down on paper. But as long as your appointment setter can do mass follow-ups once every 2 weeks minimum, then you're good. Even follow up on old DMs. So let's say we have a brand new client. Okay, so new client. We will get an appointment setter on their team, and we will get that appointment setter to do follow-ups. So let me just put a little F here for you. Follow-ups from literally the last 3 to 6 months of leads, even up to a year sometimes. And we will just strike up conversations again. And then you will have literally filled the DMs that you can book in on calls, build a rapport with, and ideally get closed again. There are a lot of guys who just didn't buy or didn't have the money at the time, or they weren't in the right position to take action, but now they are. And if you're able to just constantly be on their mind, if you've watched some of my old videos, the biggest thing that I say as an appointment setter or just as someone who's trying to book in a call or close a deal is always, okay? Jeez, it's really hard to type or draw, I guess. Always be on their mind. If you can be on their mind, they will think of you, and every single time you message them, you don't even have to message them saying hey bro, just following up, or hey bro, don't even message that. Just as long as you say hey bro, hope all is well. Not you can even say that. You'll be on their mind, and they'll be like, damn, he's reaching out because he probably wants something. But you're not even asking for anything. You just reminded them of it without actually, saying it directly. You indirectly reminded them of the fact that they still want to go ahead with you. So it's very, very important that you go through all these old DMs as an appointment setter, or as a CEO, you make your appointment setter go through all the old DMs that could potentially get booked and then closed right after that, And on new clients, make sure your appointment setter goes through all the old DMs for the past 3 to 6 months. There's endless leads in there, endless people that you can book in on a call. So if you're an appointment setter and you want to make a good first impression, go through all of the old leads and follow up on them. Strike up some conversation. You don't have to be salesy. You don't have to pitch anything. Just start up conversation and speak to them normally, like a normal human. Show some interest. And then, again, you can get them booked in on a call and closed. So, I hope this video was able to show you how to not continue bleeding money, especially this Christmas, this coming new year. You don't want to be in a negative $36,000, $278. You would rather, be booking in calls, be warming them up, be nurturing them, be qualifying them, but most importantly, scraping old leads that are already in front of you instead of finding new ones, getting them booked and getting them closed because they're already interested. And once you've sold to somebody, it's very easy to sell to them again. So if you're an appointment setter or you're a CEO, please keep this in mind. I hope you found this video valuable. If you want to work with me one-on-one so I can revamp your entire sales process, I'm offering a free sales audit, link in the description, where you can literally hop on a call with me. I'll just take a look. I'm not going to pitch you anything. I'll just take a look at your business and see if there's anything that I can particularly help you with, and then advise you on that call. But other than that, just leave a like, subscribe. It will definitely mean a lot. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.